what does it mean to you to be named, to be voted by your teammates as a captain of Navy football program?
It's obviously like one of the greatest honors I've ever had in my life. It's not even about any individual. Like that's like, Diego, Coop, Chance, or me. Like it's not about us. It's really just about the guys that have come before us and the brotherhood and what they represent, and like kind of the shoes that we're trying to fill now. They're really big shoes to fill. So we're just going to try to do our best to win some games this season.
It's very humbling. It's a high honor, and I'm very honored that my teammates would choose us to be the team captains of the 2021 season. For me, though, what it means is just keep being myself. Everybody on this call just keep being themselves and doing what they know is the right thing, and what they know they guys want, and taking care of our brothers. That's always been the same thing for me, is the brotherhood and taking care of your brother. So it's humbling, but it's same old. I'm excited. So
this is by far the biggest honor I've ever had in my life. To be thought of so highly by your teammates, when you think of them so highly, it's something you can't really explain. But like Kevin was saying, I'm just trying to fulfill the shoes that the guys have had before us, and just kind of carry that legacy forward. I know for us four, none of us want to be an individual. We don't want this to be about us. Anybody in that senior class could have been voted team captain this year. We were just blessed and honored to be selected by our teammates.
It's a great honor. It's probably one of the things that I'm going to hold on to the rest of my life, because it's not something that you did. It's more so your teammates voting you in, and that really humbles me. And I know me and all the captains are just really, like I said, really blessed, really humbled to be in this position, to represent the team as a whole. But at the end of the day, we still play, and we're still one of the guys. So yeah.
Maybe we could go around the horn again, but maybe you guys could have mentioned you've been on teams with three different sets of captains. Maybe think of guys that you looked up to that were team captains that maybe set an example for you and will help you as you shape your role as a captain. Maybe mention some guys from the past that you really thought, wow, these guys were big time captains.
I guess I could start. We've had the honor of having through the past few years just awesome captains. But one that kind of sticks out that was one of the best leaders I've been around with Block Brothers. He had a way of excuse me. He had a way of kind of just bringing guys together, and really just the closest of that 2019 team. We always talk about being our own team, but really the closest of that team was one of the reasons we were so good. And a huge part of that was Paul, and kind of the personal relationship that he had with everyone on the team. So that's something that I kind of want to bring to the table this year. Just with the freshmen coming in, I think it's going to be a huge part, because the academies are a little bit different with Leap Summer. They don't get to come in and work out. It's straight into camp for them. So really just bringing the guys together like Paul did. I think that's something that I can bring into the fall of the season.
For me, I would say there's two big significant ones for me is Sean Williams. He was the captain of my freshman year. And for me, he was in my company, but he kind of showed me that it's possible, to be a leader in the hall and a leader in the football field. You know what I'm saying? He also bridged that gap and made it actively tried to bridge that gap between the senior class and the new guys coming in. And that kind of showed me what the brotherhood could be when I was a freshman. And that, when you have all your eggs together, that you can really focus on football and become the best player you can be. And then my second one would be Ford. Ford for me kind of also highlighted that, that personal aspect of what a team is, you know what I'm saying? Actively connecting everybody, just like Kevin said with Ball, actively working hard, actively setting an example. For me, he set multiple different kinds of leaderships, and that's what kind of stood out to me. So Sean Williams and Ford would be my two.
Yeah, so for me, and I've talked about this a little bit, it'd probably be Jackson Perkins, just in the fact that obviously he's one of my good friends. He's someone that played right in front of me, but as a leader, as a captain, I think he embodies, what I want to aspire to, because, his mentality, the way that he attacked every single day with that positive attitude, with, checking his baggage at the door, leaving everything behind. Jackson did that to a T. And he just really spoke to me last year and all the years that I've played with him. and influences me and kind of what I'm going to be trying to implement on the team and what we're going to be doing and stuff like that this coming year.
Chance.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely Malcolm Perry. We all know, how great he was in the field and whatnot. But going into our sophomore year, Malcolm was one of my best friends. I lived with Malcolm and Taj over this summer. And they just kind of showed me, it's not about the hierarchy of what class you're in. It doesn't matter if you're a senior or sophomore, freshman, whatever the case may be. We're all brothers, we're all teammates, and them taking me in and showing me that meant a lot to me. As an upcoming sophomore, hanging out with the older guys and stuff like that. But also, as you guys have known, talking to other coaches, like I'm like a fiery, leader, stuff like that. But Malcolm was very quiet and just led by example. So I like to take pieces of that, try to take some stuff that he showed me, leadership wise, and try to translate it to the way I lead, just not talking as much and not talking as often, and just, getting out there and getting to work and, showing by my actions that I can lead.
Well, that's interesting because what you just said sort of leads into my next question. I'm going to divide it by offense and defense because as you're out on the practice field, you all are, Chance and Mychal are leading the offense, Diego and Kevin are leading the defense. Can you talk about how your personalities might complement each other and also how maybe you could learn from your fellow team captain? Because, for instance, Ivan Jasper or somebody recently, or maybe it was Coach Nehemiah, mentioned that Mychal is a very lead by example and doesn't say a lot. And then someone joked, well, that's all right because Chance will talk enough for all of them. But at the same time, you mentioned just now, Chance, that you learned from Mychal Cooper that maybe sometimes, calling guys out all the time or is, maybe not the way always. And sometimes it is lead by example. Or Mychal Cooper, maybe now you got to have a louder voice than you're accustomed to in the past. Let's start with the offensive guys on that and then defensive guys.
Go ahead. You start, Chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been just very vocal and kind of the way I try to get my point across. A lot of times it didn't come off the way I wanted it to when I was, younger in my career. As a transition, I've learned and picked up on stuff from Malcolm, from Ford, Taj, and even Coop, just trying to be more just head on focused. When guys see that, you're locked in and you're doing everything the right way, you don't have to say as much because they're going to follow you, especially when you're in the position that, that we were voted in. So yeah, learning from Coop. Coop is one of the hardest workers on our team. Doesn't say a lot, but that goes a long way because guys knows he's always going to be working. Kevin's kind of the same way. Kevin's one of the first people that's going to be, in the training room, on the field. One of the last people to leave. Watching film and stuff like that. So when you do those things, when you're the first guy there, the last guy to leave, you don't have to talk as much. You don't have to get guys fired up that way because they see kind of what you're doing. So definitely picking up things from these guys, man. They're great leaders, great teammates, great brothers. So I'm learning every day.
Go ahead, Coop.
First, I want to say that's an awesome question. I had the opportunity to talk with my position coach, Coach Akaitis, about this earlier this month. And yes, I would say it's funny because I am more on the quieter side, just head down work. But it's funny, I am one of the most talkative people on the team, so the contrast is funny to me. But for me, I kind of look at Chance a lot when it comes to like inspiring your teammates and setting that fire within them. I believe that leading by example will always be the best way to lead. But at the same time, especially like voting the position that we're on now, I need to go out of my way and almost get out of my comfort zone to vocally transform my confidence into other people's confidence and set my fire in other people as a leader. And I'm more of a kind of guy who, I'm gonna pull a guy to the side and say this, that, and the other, or I'll, talk to a certain group, maybe during a break period or in a locker room after practice or even before practice. But I can learn, and I'm trying to learn from Chance and even from Diego. Diego's a vocal guy on the defense, that it's necessary sometimes to speak out and say something in the heat of the moment. So that's something I'll be working on actively in the summer and going into the next season. Personally, I feel like me and Chance complement each other well. Me and Chance are good friends, and Chance has a lot of fire, has a lot of good motivation. He's a good motivational speaker, a good open speaker. And I also like building that interpersonal relationship with people and talking to them. And I feel like that hits him differently, and Chance hits him in a different way. So hopefully, I'm hoping to the season we can hit them together. So.
Let's go to Diego.
Yeah, so in terms of like working together, I think Kevin and I are a really good tandem. Just in the fact that he's kind of like a silent killer, you know what I'm saying? Like he really just gets his job done. Like, I mean, you don't hear much from him other than when you got to say something. He's not afraid to talk about, obviously. But I feel like I'm a more vocal guy, like on the defense. I feel like I'm someone that kind of gets the guys going. But Kev's always there, like always doing his job, always just kind of like I think about the Army week, Coach Volker, he was like, yeah, you're gonna have like an angel on your shoulder for this upcoming Saturday. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, well, Kevin's gonna be playing right behind you, like for this scheme that we're gonna be drawing up. And so yeah, I mean, look, he is like an angel on my shoulder, because like every time I mess up, like I know he's gonna be there to save me. So yeah, no, I really think that we work well together. He kind of, has a lot of strengths where I might be weak, and vice versa. So, yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah, kind of like the guys have been saying. I think it's pretty known on the team that I'm the quieter of the captains on the defense, at least. And that's not, that's not anything that I don't know. I think it's mainly just getting up in front, talking in front of people. That's the biggest thing. I'm not huge on doing that, which I need to get better at. That's what, Chance and Diego, I'd say, of the captains are. You guys are really good at that, and that's something that I can kind of develop over the course of the summer and kind of work into the fall with that. But like Diego was saying, we complement each other really well. I think the best thing about this group of captains is the fact that a lot of us are really just all best friends, so we communicate really well. And we can bounce ideas off each other and really just we have this common goal in mind that we want to work toward, and it's all 4 different personalities that we have. So the fact that we have that, we all work really well together, I think it's huge.
Thanks, guys.
Great stuff. Thank you. I'll pass it along.
Let's go to Phil Bergman.
Hey guys, I got one question for each person. Kevin, for you, how important is it to lead by example?
Yeah, it's huge. I think that, like I was saying, I'm more known as a lead by example kind of guy, not as vocal. So I forget. I was reading a book. I forget which one it was, but it was basically that if you're gonna be a certain type of player, like if you're gonna be really fast or you hit really hard, you can't come on one day and not be who you are. You always have to stick to who you are, and you can develop other parts of your game or your leadership style, but it's really important just to stay true to who you are, and I think that's who I am. So just doing that, I think it's huge for me and all the captains, all the seniors, and everyone on the team, really, just to hold that standard for anybody that might want to let it drop.
Chance, at a lot of schools, they announce captains right before the start of the regular season or in fall camp. What do you think are some of the benefits of announcing it in the spring?
Well, personally, I think, when you get it out there and you get it known, who you're looking at, for the example, like Kevin was talking about, for the standard, that kind of makes those guys, us 4, not be able to slack. We can't come any day and not be prepared to work because we know guys are looking at us as the example. But also on the opposite hand, I think our senior class is all leaders. It didn't matter if we announced captains the day before the game versus Marshall, or if we announced them, right after Army. It doesn't matter, because every single senior is going to be a leader. It's going to come to work every day the same way they would if they were the captains. And I think that's what's so important about our class, and that's so good about our class, is that it doesn't matter, who 4 will be on this call. All of us are going to be ready to work come June 7th.
Diego, as a middle linebacker, you're already the leader of the defense, but now having the metaphorical C on your chest, just what type of responsibility do you feel every time you're out there?
Being a captain obviously is kind of puts more responsibility on you. I think back to kind of like some previous years where I've done a little extra curricular activities after the play and might have gotten flagged for, whatever it may be. And so now that I kind of have that C on my chest, I know I really can't be doing any of that in the first. I mean, I never was in the first place, but now that I have that, I really got to be, the representation of Navy football. I mean, a direct representation of the brotherhood and everything we stand for. And so just knowing that and keeping that in the back of my mind is going to be, important and fundamental moving forward.
And then Michael, for you, when you found out you were captain, who was the first person you told, and what was that encounter like?
The first person I told, well, I tried to call my mom. She has a hard time picking up her phone often, so I call my stepdad, but I call my mom first. Like I said, I call my mom first. So I called my stepdad, and I told him he was working out. I told him I had some good news, and that I wanted to tell him and my mom together. So then after I got done working out, they both called me like 15 minutes later, and I told both of them that I was voted in captain by my teammates, and they were very happy. I mean, my parents they're very proud, but it's like they kind of tell me the same thing. Like, yes, like it's an honor and to have this, and we're happy for you, but don't change who you are. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on being you, because that's the best you. So they always do a good job of complimenting me and being proud of me, but they never let me get too high, never let me get too low.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Let's go to Diane Roberts.
Of course, because that was my question, but now I can ask it for the rest of you guys. I wonder, after you were named captain, who did you text or call, and what did you say, and what did they say back? For those of you who have not already answered.
We'll start with Chance. Go ahead, Chance.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I FaceTime my mom first. My mom and dad, they both work from home, so I knew they both were going to be there and be able to talk about it. So yeah, I just told them, hey, teammates voted myself, Kevin, Diego, and Coop as captains for this upcoming year. My mom was more of the emotional, so proud of you, congratulations, stuff like that. My dad was, congratulations, but my dad's the kind of guy, the work's not done. You guys are just getting started. He's just saying, this is an awesome group of captains, but you guys know what you need to do to lead your team next season. So yeah, that's how that conversation went.
Let's go to Kevin Brennan.
Yeah, for me, it was also my parents. I called my dad, knowing that he was home. He works in New Jersey, but he was home for the night, so I knew he was with my mom. So I called them, and they were both really fired up. So my dad, kind of similar to Chance's dad, I guess. He was proud of me, really proud, but it was ultimately the message was just to go out and lead the guys the way I know how to, with these other great captains. And then obviously my mom was really happy, screaming from the other room. So I heard her I think she was upstairs at the time, but I heard her scream when she heard. So.
And Diego.
So I just called my parents, like they happened to be together, like they were driving home from church. And it was, kind of like the same interaction that Chance had. Like my mom was like all happy for me, like, oh, I knew you could be one, like all that stuff. But my dad was, he congratulated me as well, but he was like, listen, man, like you just got to keep working, keep grinding, because there's no other way,
Also, guys, I wonder if you had to pick one word to describe a leader, a good leader, one word, what would it be?
We'll start with Coop.
I would say personal. Because, when you understand what drives your people, when you understand your people, you can lead from the front, but you can also just lead next to each other, and Chance said this at the end of practice, our last practice, that, all right teams, the coaches lead, good teams, the leader leads, and great teams, everyone leads. And that really sugarcoated me, I think, within the whole team.
Kevin.
For me, I'd say disciplined. I think as a leader, it's really important to always lead by example, because your leaders or your followers won't follow you if you're not doing the right thing. And there are going to be days, as we all know, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna be tired, whatever it is, and you're not gonna want to do the right thing. You're gonna slip up on some details. But all the captains were told an analogy that it's like a piece of spaghetti. It's kind of funny, but if you push a piece of spaghetti, it's just gonna all come together. It won't move forward. But if you pull it and lead from the front, then everything will start moving forward. So just being disciplined. Days when motivation isn't high or whatever it is, we need to have that discipline and just lead from the front.
Chance.
Yeah, mine would be consistent. I think, that's where we're voted in this position because guys respect us, not only for what we do on the field, but that is a big part. So there's going to be times in the game where, Coop, gets a ball thrown to him, maybe not makes the play. I'm not going to get the first down when I want to. Kev might miss a tackle, Dave, you might drop a pick. But you got to be even keel, got to be consistent. You can't get too high, can't get too low. And I think that's one thing that us four, gotta do this off season is just be consistent every day we come into work. We can't be the guys dragging, because if we're dragging, then the younger guys in our position are going to drag as well. So just being consistent every day.
Diego.
For me, I would just say servant, like being a servant leader. I feel like that's like really important on, in any aspect of life. Is just, if you're the leader, if you're the guy that's in charge or whatever it may be, and you're the one that's serving your teammates, you're loving on them, you're the one that's, and that could even mean working hard, right? So like when you're running all the way to the line or all the way through the line, or whatever, squatting as much as you can, like you're still serving your team, because that's how, like, that's what you need to do, and that's how you're going to help your team. So I'll just say, like, being a servant leader is like important.
And last question is, guys, are you going to have like a team captain text chain, or do you think you'll be working individually on your captaincy style, or how might you communicate together?
Chance.
Yeah, great question. We already have a kind of like a group chat going. But like Kevin was saying, we're all really good friends. We're all hanging out on the weekends and stuff like that. So there won't be no communication, lacking in this group. We all hang out, talk a lot. So, yeah.
Any of the other three have anything to add to that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that as a senior class, we also have a group chat. We harp a lot on the fact that as seniors, any of the seniors could be named captain. We just had the honor of actually being picked. So we have every senior in the senior classes in a group chat. So while we have our four, we also have that one with however many we have to communicate.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go to Mr. Randy Cross.
Well, all right, guys, thanks. Hey, I'll default to Wags's alphabetical order on this. This is my only question, and it would be, normal is kind of a relative term, as we've all found out over the last year or so. But now that things are kind of getting back to normal, how do you guys maintain the sort of momentum and the positive energy that you've built up here through off-season workouts and spring ball? You're going to head into kind of a summer off-season area where you may not be, hands-on with each other as much as you might want to. How do you keep that whole thing going so that when you get in the fall and start getting back on the field and playing football, that it's kind of seamless? Is there anything you could say that would help you do that?
Yeah, I think that a big thing that we did right before, kind of in the beginning of finals week, was we met with each class and just kind of set a message like, we're going to be away from each other for a little bit. No organized workouts. We're going on different trainings around the country and stuff, but just to keep our goals in mind. I think that's a huge thing. And whether that's individual for your position group, whatever it is, we have things that we all want to work on to ultimately better the team. And then, once we get back for the summer, just to hit the ground running. And it's going to be easy early on to have a lot of fire under us and, come out every day and work hard. But, after week 3, 4, 5, 6 during the summer, just to keep that consistency, like Chance was talking about as a leader.
Coop.
I think Chance had mentioned this, maybe it was Kevin, but we've been kind of harping big to every single class about like bringing your brothers along. And by that, we mean when we do get back during the summer, when we are here during the summer, because we spend most of our time, it's, if you're going out, bring somebody with you. You know what I'm saying? If even if you're going out on the weekend, hit somebody up, and that kind of keeps the relationship strong. Chance said that there's sometimes that you might get up and you're not going to want to be as productive, or you might skip out on the little things. But if you have someone in your ear telling you to do it, it makes it 18 times, 20 times more easy to do that. So if we can continue that and be consistent in that, I think that we can increase the momentum going into the fall.
Diego.
Yeah, for me, we started the year off by kind of establishing our kind of mantra or motto for the year, burn the boats, and you guys kind of know that background and what that's all about. And I mean, this plays right into everything that we're going to be doing for the summer, for the fall. Everything that we've done up to this point is, to just burn those boats, right? And in order to be consistent, like the guys are talking about, in order to continue to have all of those, I guess, positive influences, all those, good vibes, like you have to burn those boats. If you bring in that negative energy, it's just going to drag everyone else down, and you won't be able, like when Coop says, bring your brother along, you can bring him along positively or negatively. And like the way that you do that is going to ultimately impact the rest of the team as well. And so just keeping that, again, that motto in mind for this upcoming, few months.
And Chance.
Yeah, another thing we've all four talked about is just the unity of the team. That's one thing we think is really important. Us being as close as possible is going to give us the best chance to be successful this season. And throughout this summer, we have a lot of stuff planned for the team, a lot of team events. But during those team events, we want to emphasize, hanging out with guys that aren't in your position group, that aren't from where you're from, that aren't in your class. And we think that puts the emphasis on getting to know everybody. The starting A-bag knows the four-string D lineman, you know what I mean? And that unity and that closeness is going to, translate to the field, translate to that trust piece that we always talk about. So we think just growing closer throughout the summer is going to help us a lot come Saturdays.
Great, guys. Enjoy your summer.
Graham Knight.
Thanks, Scott. Graham Knight here with Behind the Lines. We've talked about kind of the first reaction to hearing the news and stuff. I want to take you to the end of the season, and we'll go through, we'll just follow Wags' order. I'm not going to buck the system here. But what I want to do is, you're at the end of the season. What do you want to be able to say about this season as you look back? And I'd also like to know, is there something specific you're hoping to accomplish? And one small example of that is Kevin was talking about maybe becoming a better talker. So let's just go through, what do you want to be able to say about the season, and kind of what do you hope to accomplish that, or what are you focused on?
Yeah, just as a team, just having no regrets, especially as a senior class. This is our last time playing for Navy. And I really just, I think at the end of the season, just want to have no regrets, whether we go undefeated this year or we lose a game here and there. And, ultimately, I don't want to have any regrets for the season. And I want to make sure I do my part, and control what I can control to, help out the team every single day, have a good mindset, and really just, win a lot of games this season. And that kind of translates into, I guess, the goals. It's really all about the team. So, we want to win the CIC. We want to win the conference. And then we want to win a New Year's Six.
Coop.
I would hope to be the closest team in the country. I personally came to Naval Academy for the brotherhood, and I feel we have that, and I feel like we can only make it that much tighter. And I think also with being the closest team in the country, that encompasses our love, selflessness, discipline, and toughness. And with all that, all of our goals, everything we wish to accomplish, I feel will fall in line. And also following that into even after football, if we talk about the end of the season, I hope that carries on into our careers, no matter where everybody goes, and we continue this strong network as family, as brothers. And that's my vision. But I feel everything will fall into place once we start. The most important thing is being the closest team in the country.
Diego.
Yeah, for me, I just want to be the class that brings it back. Obviously, this past year was pretty difficult, and and the fact that obviously we lost the Army, we lost the Air Force, I mean, we lost to basically everyone. But I want to look back at the season, just be like, just like Kevin, you know, like there's no regrets, and just be kind of satisfied with where we're at as a team and as a unit. And, you know, goals wise, again, echoing what Kevin was saying, you know, obviously we want to win all those things. And just like Coop, you know, I want to be close with my brothers as well. And I know we will be. So just, again, keeping those in mind and hopefully achieving all those will be exciting.
Chance.
Yeah, for the season, for the team, you know, like Diego was talking about, you just want to be the class, you know, that accomplishes our goals that we set out before the season starts. You know, win the CIC, you know, win the AAC. You know, we tied for our side. We want to win it outright. We want to win the whole conference. You know, and win the New Year's Six ball, like Kevin was talking about. You know, we set out those goals every year. You know, we got to accomplish all three, but we have the team to do it. You know, we have the guys in the locker room to do it, and this is the year to do it. So just putting Navy back where it's supposed to be. It's really big for all four of us. And then for myself, Diego mentioned this, talking to the team, just leaving my jersey in a better place, you know, leaving a legacy, you know, letting people know that us four as captains, you know, came every day, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of whatever situation we're put in. And, you know, we put out for our brotherhood and put out for our team. So just letting the guys know that came before me, that will come after me, that, you know, we wanted this, that this meant something to us.